Okay, this is kind of part two of, I was reading about this lady, interviewed questions, and she's apparently, okay, well, the last thing we read is about this, the ego must now shift out of fantasy of partnership and into the reality of relationship building. Well, if someone wants me to shift out of my fantasy, my imagination creation, which is what I really want, into the compromise of relationship building, the door is like wide open and they can fuck the fuck. No thank you. I am not going to build a relationship with anyone. This is New Earth. I'm going to build a relationship with myself. I'm going to know who I am. I'm going to work on every trigger and every program and be my highest and best version of me. Those that gravitate into my life do, and those that don't. Those that are in my life, I have to keep them there to be a version of me I'm not? Abso-fucking-lutely not. That's New Earth, high consciousness relationships. In my opinion, in my experience, and where I'm headed with my doctrine, with my church and my beliefs and my teachings. Alright, let's see what else this gal has to say. The spiritual importance of monogamy is a symbol of oneness with the divine. Okay, so the divine, God, wants us to be monogamous. That sounds very Christian, very biblical, right? God has no gender. We are interdimensional. Every choice we made or didn't make created a different version of us. We live in parallel lives. We're quantum. We move realities. We shift reality. How in the hell can monogamy be spiritual? Well, if you're just with one person, you can work on this. You're either working on your shit or you're not. Okay? You can work on it monogamous or not monogamous. So if they say, well, you have to be monogamous to get to the root of all your issues, well, maybe not. Maybe you just have to be yourself and keep wanting to be the best version of you, wanting to identify every belief system, and not, I do not agree at all that it's a spiritual importance to be monogamous. It's spiritually important to be your true self. You are a creator God. You are quantum. If your heart is saying you want one thing and your mouth is lying, you're creating a reality that's in opposition of your truth. If you can speak your truth, then you will keep moving towards creating a reality that you're living your truth. And that's what we come here to experience. We didn't come here to experience someone else's truth. And in the scenarios I've already given, oftentimes we don't even experience the other person's truth. Okay, so you don't be like, okay, well, I'm going to be what you need me to be. Oftentimes people become that middle version that I keep calling the monster, which is neither one of them. And then they're obligated. They got bills, they got rent, they got home ownership, they got kids, they got whatever, and they're in emotional ties and trauma bonding, whatever. So they're stuck together. And it's going to take a whole lot of emotional unwinding to get away from each other. And I don't think that monogamy has any connection to spirituality. It can, but only if each sovereign person has their own spirituality. I'm not responsible for someone else's spirituality. And I don't think that monogamy is a symbol of the divine. I don't agree with that. While the ego yearns to be rescued by Source during moments of need, it is capable of staying in the light to live out life's destiny under the cosmic laws of universal will. Don't agree. Yeah. Oftentimes the ego attempt to align with Source, like a race car pulling it into a pit stop. Once repaired, it's back in the race until it breaks down further. So this might be regular mainstream people, but if you're actually saying I'm sovereign, and if you're really are being your 100% true self and not letting anybody sway you from that, none of this applies to you. This is codependent fuckery. And it's not people taking responsibility for who they are. It's people still saying, the relationship makes me. Me working on the relationship is my connection to spirituality. Relationship building is the divine. I have been alone in a car for 5 fucking years, okay? Yeah, I've been around people. I have, incredible connections. But I've spent so much time alone. I get me, I know me, I love me, I found me, I got me, I allow me. And I will never get into a relationship again that destroys me and that picks their version of me over myself. Anyway, she goes on. So I think we're going to skip some of it because I don't want to bore you guys to complete tears. But just as we turn inward during our deepest heartfelt surrender to allow our personal will to serve the greater will of our eternal source in monogamy. Oh, I'm so glad I didn't say hello to this lesbian before I saw all this, but okay. Well, it's important for both partners to maintain their own individuality. Oh, we get to be individuals now. Thank you. As unique contributions toward the evolution of a mutual bond. See, that's the monster. You both contribute to a mutual bond. So instead of being like, oh, I'm going to go visit you in your world and get to know you. Oh, that's cool. This is all interesting. Oh, your world's cool. That's it. No, we're going to make a mutual bond in some world of enchantment that we both have agreed to compromise in. That, to me, is not sovereign. Okay, while it's important for both partners to maintain... Okay, so that... it is equally important for a willingness to serve we instead of just me. To be seen as opportunities to align with the vibration of unity consciousness. Okay. You can't get away from unity consciousness. Everything that we do, we add or take away from a vote to the whole. Like say there's 100% vote. Okay, if 51% of us want thing, mass consciousness raises. But we still, based on our own individual choices and beliefs, we still move to different realities, okay? When you become the we and not the me, you're lost in the sea of other people's stuff, okay? So she's saying being willing to serve the we. So like, okay, I'm in service to my relationship. So whatever it takes to build my relationship. And you can't be in service, 100% in service to your relationship with another person and be 100% in service to yourself. It's impossible in the current energies. Maybe there are some higher consciousness beings that can do that. But if you're constantly focused on the we, you're filtering every decision, every thought, every choice through what the unit will be. And instead of learning more and more about yourself and exploring new things you might like to do and like to be, you settle into a life as it is to become the we and work on the we. And she's calling that some sort of a divinity. The divinity is knowing your own truth. If that we is fun and you're true and you're honest, 100%, yeah, I can see it. But in my experience, based on society with programs and traumas and triggers, and that's just not, it's not possible to work on the we and know and be the me. Sometimes relationships have successfully run their course, and it may be time to consider whether your current partner is right for your journey ahead. Right. They're not right for my journey ahead, so they can just go fuck off. So, but if you're poly... if you're polyamorous, open, whatever, you take those people with you. If they're kind and high consciousness, you don't just be like, okay, I'm done with you, next monogamy. That's not the truth. Just abandoning people if you really love them isn't the truth. If they're healthy for you, and they're not controlling, and they're part of your journey forward, they have similar beliefs, they love you and care about you, and you still want to move forward, you just don't want to be sexual, or you don't want to do some of these other things together, you don't just move on to for one, oh, let's just focus on each other and the we, and let's do that here again, let's do that here again. And then you're constantly abandoning people and abandoning energies. And if it's healthy for you, good. But if it's not healthy for you, why force yourself to leave intimate friendship behind because new person is jealous and we're going to focus on the we? Nah. Okay. She must be just... People think I'm intense in a relationship. This woman. Okay. When we are able to see sacred partnerships as a way in which we become fully invested in our life's journey, as the perfection of divinity in human form, we are able to freely commit to the heart of our beloved without feeling as if anything would be sacrificed. If you fully commit to the heart of your beloved, you're sacrificing. You got a fucking cement altar and you got your own fucking heart ripped out, your mind, your consciousness ripped out, and you fucking stabbed it and gave it to the gods. Okay? Because there is no way that you can commit to the heart of your beloved. So I'm committed to you. So, and be committed to me. You have triggers, you have traumas, you have childhood issues, you have things you prefer, things you don't prefer. I can either join them, or if I'm strong enough to be me and be with you, but if there's a certain lifestyle or certain choices, I have to choose my version or your version, right? So if I commit to you and to being everything that you need me to be for you, or that you need to call a relationship, or commit to the relationship being okay no matter what, I can't control you. I can't control what you think, what you believe. I can't control your changes every day. So I have to be like, okay, oh my gosh, she might change. She might have a thing. So I got to constantly be on post-traumatic stress, waiting for my partner to change or be interested in something new so I can stay committed to the relationship. That's not my fucking job. It's my job to be committed to me. Know my mind, my triggers, my beliefs, my abuse pattern, my traumas. Not to be responsible for another by being committed so much to the beloved, so committed to the monster, the version of us that's the beloved, and not committed to the two individual sovereign beings. Okay. Obviously my opinion is my ramble. Okay, in the end, oh God, does this end? The one who bounces around from relationship to relationship, only staying for as long as the newness is felt, ultimately misses out on the joy of true intimacy. See, so I said open, poly, whatever. So she took it as bouncing around. Okay, so I just want a bunch of lovers and I'm just going to bounce around. I'm never going to get true intimacy. So basically she's saying I can't have true intimacy with more than one person. So I can't like vanilla ice cream and chocolate ice cream. I couldn't be in love with a man and be in love with a woman. I couldn't be in love with two women. I couldn't feel intimate about more than one person. If I do, then I'm shallow, right? Because I don't really know the true joys of intimacy. Again, disagree. Far beyond the fear of boredom in a relationship, there exists a depth of ecstasy. Okay, again, I don't think the relationship is responsible for your boredom. That's an inside job. And ecstasy, I've had the most amazing ecstasy with myself. Fantasies in the mind and the journey. And when I'm with someone else sexually, my mind, it's my mind that makes or breaks it. So our level and depth of ecstasy is actually in our own consciousness, our own hearts, our own thoughts, our own definitions, our own belief systems, our own perceptions, and they're all subjective. It's not about being bored, and it's not about having another depth of ecstasy. That's mine. It's not based on the person or the one. That's me talking out. I'm saying, obviously it's my opinion. Where every moment can be felt as outrageous lovemaking between two hearts. I highly doubt that in this scenario. It sounds so high consciousness, but it reeks of toxicity. Okay, such a high level of tantric bliss may be pursued by ego, but only exists for the soul to discover. Okay. No matter how tumultuous any relationship may be, each one has been created to help integrate our deepest wisdom. Okay. And the arrival of the one we're meant to love. So she's kind of coming from the angle that I want to be open or poly because one person's tumultuous. So I'm like, oh my God, get away from that bitch. I'm just going to keep moving on. But that's not what that's not how it is. I'm like, okay, this person's interested in going to the mountains and this certain passion and this certain experience, and I can enjoy this aspect of myself with this person. This person may not enjoy that aspect of myself, but they like another version of me, like the one that might just want to just, like go to the beach and look at shells and, go look at otters or drive, some like this kind of movie, some like that kind of movie. I might like both, so I'd like to do it with the different people. So to me, it's about experiencing that, and not just as friends, but that if I want to hold their hands or be intimate or make out, or even as friends, to not, because a lot of people, I've never really been in a long-term relationship with a man, but women are just, they're jealous if you're friends with another woman, they're jealous if you're talking to another woman, they're jealous if you go to the movie with them, and that's what I don't want, and that's why I don't want monogamy. Because if I want to go to a movie that my partner doesn't like with someone else and hold their hand or even make out with them, I want the freedom to do that because that's my truth. It's not about, it's tumultuous, so I'm going to move on to one that's not tumultuous. To me, it's about enjoying different aspects of myself with other people. Freely, and not with any games or post-traumatic stress or other traumas. Whether we are currently celebrating sacred partnerships with our long-awaited beloved, being refined for such a relationship, or eagerly anticipating their arrival, may we embrace the importance of monogamy as a way of aligning with the light of source energy. So if you need one lover to align with the source energy in yourself, then you have emotional things that you need to deal with. Programs, belief systems, traumas, because your source connection to source, if it's ever about anything outside of you or any other person, or if you lose your connection to source, if your partner's not monogamous, to me that's codependent, that's low vibration, low frequency. It's just not, yeah. I do not believe that monogamy is important at all. I do believe honesty is important. Be telling your partner the truth. And I do not believe, if your partner doesn't thinks you're monogamous and you're not, then that creates a ripple in the time continuum, because that creates a split in reality. So if you live your truth and be honest about your truth and bring more of your truth to you, that is beautiful. But if if it makes or breaks you whether your partner's monogamous or not, like she's saying, like you can align with the light of source. So your connection to God is based on what? She said earlier, the divine. So if my partner all of a sudden one day isn't monogamous, I lose my connection to the divine. I lose my sacred everything because I was focused on the beloved and the we. No, you have to be sovereign and create from there. Okay, the more willing we are to be in a monogamous relationship with our deepest truth, the more love can fill our hearts to bring forth our most fulfilling reality for the benefit of all. Again, I don't think that our relationship to another person has anything to do with this. Our relationship with ourself is the most important, because what our belief system, when we go through every belief, every trigger, every trauma, to be our best version of ourselves, we actually draw to us different versions of people in our reality. Again, like with the Mandela effect, shifting realities, I move to reality where there's a different version of that person based on who I believe them to be. So, I don't think that, I think being my 100% truth moves me into a reality that's more of my truth. Being more of what other people need me to be, it doesn't even necessarily move me more to their reality, but it creates a muddled version of my reality. Okay. In sacred partnerships, we embrace the heart of another as our own. See, I don't agree with that. I might have used to back in the day, but now, New Earth, what higher consciousness, this only sacred partnership that matters is yourself. I'm not saying not be loyal to people, not be in love with people, but do it in a way where you're 100% honest with who you are. And if you cannot be yourself and have that person in your life, you need to not have them in your life. Living a lie is what creates the split in the space-time continuum. Like Back to the Future here. It creates confusion and energy. So instead of quantum reality bringing you the things that you want, it's bringing you this other muddled version because you're lying, or because you're like anyway. Right, because you're embracing the heart of another. While we cherish our own needs, it's all about adoring the other person. Thank God. This is a little bit further. Whether discovering renewed commitment in our current relationship, opening space for our true beloved to enter, or making our own hearts a more central point of focus, the importance of monogamy is the grace through which the ego is resolved. It is the awakening of unity consciousness. And I get this, but I think it's also old earth energy, because there's no way right now that I believe that focusing on a relationship with another person is where we are in New Earth, especially when people have so many triggers and traumas and things that they have to deal with themselves. They project on other people constantly. So do these type of relationships exist? Yeah, probably. But they're probably not sexual. And if you are someone who wants to have a sexual relationship, but any kind of relationship, the bottom line is you have to be yourself. If you're not you, like if you lie about liking something you don't like, or vice versa, you're literally creating spirit, the quantum universal laws are filling in your reality based on that lie and not on the truth. And so I strive to live my truth, even though I shake sometimes and I speak my truth, but the only thing I can do is be honest with myself and let everything else fall where it falls, and then I can embrace the reality that's created next. If I lie about anything I'm doing to make other people feel better about me or to make them okay, then I'm creating a reality that they want me to have, which is actually muddling both of our realities. And so, anyway, I'm going to shut this one down and read some of the other interviews later. I don't know if you could make heads or tails of any of that. I hadn't read that one in a while. Yeah, just don't believe you can be your true self and be monogamous. 100%. It's just how it is. Which doesn't mean you shouldn't be monogamous. Everybody should be true to who they are. It's just that I digress. Bye for now.